Hello guys and good this time to you. In this tutorial we are going to look at legal method. That's the week one. In week one we are going to look at law in social context. We will see the nature and functions of law in the society. So what is the meaning of social? If we say something social, it means something that has to do with people, where people live. So we will see what is law in the environment where people live. In this note, we are going to see so many things that has to do with law. We'll see what is the primary functions of law and secondary functions of law. We'll see the nature of law. We'll see what is the connection between law and legitimacy, law and order and justice and all those things. So let me go deeper into the notes where I'm going to be straightforward. I'll give you the main points because we don't have much time for me to start looking at the note from A to Z. I'll give you the key areas. I'll give you the general understanding, okay? So before I go into the note, what do you understand by nature and function? These are the things that you need to understand before you enter inside. So for anything you want to study, make sure you understand the context of what you are studying before you go deeper. So when we say nature of thing, it means what that thing look like. Function, then what it does, what are the characteristics of it, what it does. So nature of your my phone is an Android phone and it has a screen and all those things. That's the nature. What is the function? I can use it to make phone call, I can use it to chat, I can use it to take pictures, etc. So that is the main definition between different between nature and functions. So let me go into the notes. The first thing we are going to see is nature and function of law, which the nature of law first. So this particular page has explained what are the nature of law, and I'm going to explain it to you now. Okay, so law has been described as a body of rules recognized as binding within a political community, enforced by sanction, imposed by legitimate authority. The nature of law is not merely normative but also functional, shaping and reflecting order, a social order. According to Salmond, law is the body of principle recognized and applied by the state in the administration of justice. So, let me explain to you what are the nature of law in this particular aspect. Law has been described as a body of rule. The first nature of law in this place is law is a body of rule. That's the nature. Meaning, how does law look like, right? Law look like a body of rule. That's the first thing you need to understand. Law is a body of rules from here to here, a body of rules. A body of rules. This is the first function of law that you need to nature of law. Sorry. This is the first nature of law that you need to understand. And this particular law you are seeing, it is recognized as binding in a political community. That's the second nature of law. The second nature of law it look like. Meaning, if there is no political community, then it's not a law. What does it mean by political community? Political community is a state where it has a sovereignty, it has a population, and it has its political community before it can become a state. Do you understand? That's what is the definition of it. And a state, a law means country. Please, state, a law means country. Okay. So the second nature of law is it is recognized as binding within a political community. And what is the third nature of law? It is enforced by sanction. Enforced by sanction. What is the meaning of enforced? Something that someone make it compulsory on you. He make it for you to do it by force. That's enforced. By sanction, meaning if you do not follow the law, you will be sanctioned. Sanction means punishment. Okay, so please get a jotter so that you'll be writing this kind of words and you will not miss them, okay? Then imposed by legitimate authority. What is the meaning of legitimate authority? What the word legitimate? You'll be hearing legit, fake, right? So the meaning of legit means real authority. So law is imposed by real and trustworthy authority. When we say something is legit, means that thing is true, that thing is legit, like is real, is trustworthy, is accepted, right? So that is the meaning of legitimacy. Do you understand? So law is imposed by legitimate authority, meaning it is a real, accepted, and a guaranteed authority that impose law. The meaning of impose means something that has been put on you that you must do it. Do you understand? So these are the three nature of law, and it added by saying that the nature of law is not mere is not nature of law is not merely normative but also functional. What is normative? When we say something normative, is something that has to do with environment, something that has to do with norms, tradition, and cultures. Okay, so law is not just an environment stuff that changes from this. When we say something normative, it's more of something that is practical here but not practical, or accepted here but not accepted in another place. Something that can change. You understand? It's different from empirical. Empirical is something that doesn't change, but normative is something that changes. You understand? So law is not merely, it's not just that law can change, but also it is functional. It has kind of function. What is the function? It's shaping and reflecting social order. Law, it's used to change how order should be done. So this is the most important area in this note. So I would like you to read it. Let me just read it to the end. It says, according to Salmon, law is a body of principle recognized and applied by the state. Just like I said, state means country. So according to Salmon, he said law is a body of principle which the state recognize, right, in the administration of justice. So when law want to administer justice, when the state want to administer justice, it uses law. Similarly, heart. This person, Hart, is a name of a scholar. Okay, he is a positivist. There are many school of thoughts you come across in your 200 level or 300 level. School of thought means those schools that has given their own view or idea about a particular thing in law. So there is positivist school of thought, there is naturalist school of thought, um there are so many school of thought: positivist, naturalist, moralist, socialist, and all those things. Do you understand? So this positive school of thought, he said he said that law is a concept. He said that law is the union of primary and secondary rules as the core of legal system. The connection of primary rules and secondary rules, which are the core of legal system. So now let's look at another very important key area, which is the function of law. Just like I told you, the first thing we look like is the nature of law, right? So now we are looking at the function of law. Look at it. There are almost three or two functions of law: primarily and then secondary. Do you understand? Primarily, primarily, there is the first function of law. Apart from the first function, then there are other functions of law. What is the first function of law? What's the difference between something we said primary, meaning that's the main reason why that particular law is created? So, for example, you know that you are sent to school. The main reason why you are sent to school is for you to study. So, the main function, that's the main work of law, that's the primary work of law. The reason why law is created is one, law provide order and predictability by setting standard of conduct. That's the first rules of law. It provide order and stability. What is order? When we said order, it means settlement, a situation where there is no fight, there is no chaos, there is no talks, and all those things. That is order. And predictability by setting standard. Predictability means you see, foresee what will happen in the next, so you set the standard before it happens. Do you understand? How do we set the standard? What is the meaning of standard by first? Standard means limits, limit of anything. When you set the standard of anything, mean you have set the limit where anybody cannot pass. If you go beyond that limit, then you will be punished. Do you understand? For example, you in your house, you find out that your elder brother is allowed to go out and come back anytime he wants at night, whether 11, whether 2, whether 3, anytime. But you are restricted. Your father asks you to stay. If you come back around 10, you'll be asked to leave the house. Do you understand? Or you as a woman, as a lady, you find out that they don't even allow you to go out. So that's the standard of your house, meaning the limit that everybody will not pass. That's the meaning. So law used to put that standard for everybody to regulate his conduct so that this person will not cheat another person. You can do your work, but you should not go against my standard. You understand? So law provide order. That's it maintains chaos, lack of fight, and all those things, and predictability. How does it that? By setting standard of conduct, right? Then two, that's one of the primary function of law. Two, it resolve dispute, resolving dispute where there is fight. So now somebody has committed something that he goes against the standard that law has set, then law will resolve the dispute between you guys. Do you understand? Then the next thing that law does is preventing anarchy. The word anarchy means a situation where the ruler of that particular place rules in a harsh and unfair rule. Do you understand? He ruled the way he wants without justice. He ruled unfairly. He kills who he wants to kill. He punish, he wants to punish. There is no justice, there is no anything. That's what is known as anarchy. Do you understand? He is the one that overall power, has the overall power. He do what he wants. For example, all those in this in the Pharaoh regime, you know Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh regime of Misra, of Egypt, Pharaoh of Egypt. So this particular regime is a kind of anarchy regime where people are just ruled the way he will kill the one he want. He will enslave the one he wants. That's the so law prevent this kind of thing. Then this is the first function of law. Then there is another function of law, which are secondly, law serve as an instrument of justice. What do we mean by instrument of justice? Instrument of justice is an element or is a part of justice. Without law, there will not be justice. If people are using their mind to justify, then it will not go. Law has to be there. There should be rules and regulation before justice will be done. So when we said an instrument of thing mean a part of thing. For example, instrument of class, meaning what are the things you see in class? Do you understand? You can see chair, you can see body, you can see anything. So instrument of law is the instrument of justice is law. One of the instrument of justice is law. Law, equity, punishment, court, etc. These are the instrument of justice. Without these things, there will not be justice. Okay, there should be a judge who will you be the one to use the law. There should be prison where they will put the person that committed the law, and there should be the law that will say not to. So you see, these are instrument of justice. So law is one of the instrument of justice. Okay, then it ensures fairness and equality before legal norms. Do you understand? So it ensures that there is justice and equality. Okay. So the next thing, the third one is law. It forms is perform a regulatory function by what? Shaping political, and social relationship. So law also regulates our economic, political, and social relationship. There is there is a way of dispensing money in the society. Law will regulate it. Politics, how our leaders will be elected, how we will choose who will be our chairman, and all those things, law regulate it. Social relationship between Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and other tribe and all those. How can we stay in one place without fight? Law regulates it. Do you understand? The next one is law has an educative function, meaning it teaches us something. What is the educative function? Installing social value and norms in citizens. Law makes you to understand that there is good in being one another. There is good in staying with one another. There is good in not fighting. We cannot, if had it been we are fighting, none of us will be in the same school now teaching ourselves or something like that. So law give us that value to know that yes, we deserve one another, we deserve to say in one another. Then finally, law functions as a vehicle of social change. Example in Nigeria by the statutes such as the Child Right Act, etc. So law used to serve as something that will bring social change. Where there is chaos, law will enter there and make sure that it brought changes. So these are the functions of law. So now let's look at the next thing in the notes, which is law, order, and justice. So in this regard, in this page, we are going to see what is the connection between law, order, and justice. Just like I told you, order means absence of fight, absence of chaos, absence of anarchy, a place where there is peace. In other words, order means peace. Do you understand? So what is the connection of law, peace, and justice? Do you understand? So order just means peace. Okay. So let me just give you the little connection between them. You have to make law before there will be peace. And when there is breach of peace, then you do justice for that person who has breached the peace. You understand? That's the same thing. So law comes first, then order. If you bring law, then peace will reign, right? And anybody who decide to disrupt that peace, then he will be punished in a justified way. That's doing justice. Do you understand? So look at it. Law, order, and justice are interconnected concepts, meaning they are connected to one another. Order denotes, the meaning of denote means something that means. Denote it means. So here, order means stability and the absence of arbitrary behavior. The big word that will disturb us here is arbitrary behavior. What is the meaning of arbitrary behavior? Arbitrary behavior is an act of feeling that I'm above the law. I'm higher than everybody in the society. So law stop you from feeling that way. So the meaning of order is stability. Stability meaning there is everybody is stable, there is no problem, and the absence of arbitrary behavior. Everybody is feeling equal. Nobody is feeling I'm bigger, I'm more stronger, or I'm richer, or all those things than others. Do you understand? How do we achieve order? Achieved through compliance with established rules. You see, this constitution we have, if we are not following the constitution, there will not be justice. The laws we have at hand, such as maybe the Bible, the Quran, all those commandments in the Quran and Bible, if we are not following them, there will not be order. So these laws are there to guide us, to maintain, to keep the activities, to keep the society to be in order. All these ones are law, not just the constitution. All of them, they are laws. Do you understand? So then again, justice often regarded as the ultimate goal of law. So if you breach the law, then what the law want is justice. The main goal, what law is aiming at, is to do justice to anybody who has been cheated. Do you understand? So justice is the ultimate. Sorry, someone is calling me. Okay, just like I was saying, justice often regarded as the ultimate goal of law, meaning what law want to achieve is justice, right? How do we do justice is it embodies fairness, equality, and protection of rights. Do you understand? So that's how justice is done. Then according to Aristotle, he described justice as giving each his due. That's what everybody deserve. That's justice according to Aristotle. Do you understand? And also, the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria has amended, enshrined the principle of justice in Chapter 4 on fundamental rights, guaranteeing equality before the law. So even the Constitution has guaranteed that everybody will have justice and equal treatment before the law. So now let's look like what is justice. We have seen what is order, we have seen what is law, we have seen order, and now let's look at what is justice. Justice may be substantive and it may be procedural. How is justice substantive? Firstly, understand the word substantive and understand the word procedural. Do you understand? These two words, they will follow you. What are substantive law and what are procedural laws? You see, those laws that said, do this and do not do this is wrong and this is right. According to section this of the this, it says this is wrong. For example, the constitution is a substantive law. The criminal code is a substantive law. The penal code is a substantive law. These laws, these are laws that said or that laid down the rules and regulation of not doing this and do this. And then procedural. Now that somebody has breached your fundamental rights that are in the constitution, what will you do now to fight for your rights? Then the procedural law will tell you what to do. That is where you find it in the criminal procedure or civil procedure. Do you understand? So substantive law, they are laws that led the principles, the foundation of rules and regulation. It tells you the rights, it tells you the wrong. That's substantive law. So you can see justice as a substantive law, meaning justice ensure equitable distribution of benefits and burden. What is benefit and what is burden? Benefit is what someone will do to me. That's my benefit on him. Then burden is what I have on the other person. What I am carrying on the other person, what I'll do to him, that's a burden on me. What he will do to me, that's my benefit. He will be the one to respect me, and I will be the one to respect him too. My own respect to him is a burden, and his own respect to me is my benefit. Do you understand? So, justice makes sure that this particular benefit and burden are distributed equally. Not that someone will just cheat you and the justice will just leave it like that. Do you understand? So that is the first eye of justice. If you see justice as a substantive law, or if you see justice as a procedural law, meaning it ensures fairness in legal processes, meaning you that did not give me what I deserve, but that's my benefit, or me that did not give you the burden that is in me, you have the right to sue me, and these are the procedures. You understand? So justice makes sure that these procedures are followed, and justice makes sure that these laws are followed. So you can see justice as a substantive law, or you can see it as a procedural law. So if you see it justice as a substantive way of distributing benefit and burden, is the same thing. If you see justice as a procedural, ensuring fairness in legal process, then it is the same thing. You understand? So now just that's law, justice, and order in that regard. So now let's look at another thing important, which is law and freedom. Look at it from this way. What does freedom mean? Liberty, the rights, or the what's it called? The right to do what you want without interruption of the law. That's freedom. But your freedom ends where another person's freedom begins. Do you understand? So that's just something you need to understand. Let's look at the concept of law and freedom. Law is there to guide freedom of being overused. I have the freedom to move from one place to another. But your freedom will end the moment you step into someone's house without his permission. I have freedom to speak or to talk anyhow I want. But your freedom of speech will end the moment you start talking about someone that is not supposed. Do you understand? So, law regulates freedom from being overused. Do you understand? So, this is the connection between law and freedom. So, now let's look at it. Law and freedom exist in a dialectical relationship. What is dialectical? Meaning they connect with one another, they touch one another. This tell this what to do, and this tell this not to do. While law restrain individual liberty to prevent harm to others, does law restrain individual from not harming others? It simultaneously guarantees freedom by creating a framework of rights under Section 35 of the 1999 Constitution, protect the right to personal liberty. Do you understand? So, law continuously guarantee that freedom will be given. That is why it's even provided in Section 35 that everybody has the rights of liberty, subject to lawful restriction. Your liberty will end the moment law restricts you from doing that. So this is the connection of law and freedom. You have the right. Your freedom, your liberty is to do anything you want to do. But the moment you decide to harm someone by doing what you are doing, then the law will stop you. So this is the connection between law and liberty. That's freedom. Liberty is the same thing as freedom. Okay. So and also internationally, human rights has recognizes it as an instrument where such as International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, it has given you the civil right and political right you deserve. This is just by say, let's go to another important area, which is law and the states. What is law and what is the state? Just like I told you from the beginning of this course, the state means country. And you can understand law are a set of rules and regulations, right? Which are created and enforced in a society. So how did we have connection between law and the state? Logically, who create laws? Legislation, right? Then who create legislation? The states. The state is the one that give legislative people power to make laws. And the law now will regulate the state from not going against the law. Do you just see the connection? So this is the little connection between the state and the law. State means country. So country would decide to say this particular set of people are who we call legislators. And who are they? They make laws. And when they make laws, they regulate the state from not going against the law. Do you understand? See the connection? So law and state are symbiotic, meaning they are just like one checkmating one another. The state provides the authority and institutional framework for laws enforcement. So the state now is the one that provides those authority and also those framework. If we say framework is set of books, a set of rules. You understand? Framework is what are regulatory bodies that guide that particular thing. So the state is the one that provides the authority, that's the legislation, and the institutional framework for law enforcement. Who are the law enforcers? These are the judicial, the legislative, right? The police and all those things, right? While law legitimizes state power by limiting arbitrariness. So law make the states to be powerful, and it bring out the real power of the state by making sure that there is no overuse of power. Do you see how they checkmate one another? You create something and that particular thing regulates you. Do you understand? So it's just like me in our class. We will sit down, we will create some people, we will tell them that you people are the one that will be making laws for the class. You see, we are the one that create them. And when they make laws now, the law will be enforced on us. So this is how the law and the state is connected. Okay, so now let's look like another aspect which is very important. This is a continuation, not really important. Law and legitimacy. So what do we mean by legitimacy before we go further? Legitimacy is a situation where you accept something that you know is binding on you and it is real from a given authority. It is rightful that you follow it. Just like I told you, anything legit means anything right, anything good, anything real. Okay? So, legitimacy refers to the acceptance of authority as rightful and binding. So you accept this particular authority. The example I gave you with our class members, we created them. We are the state. That's the class. We are the state. That's the country. Then we create some set of people. We give them rights to make laws. Okay. So if we give them right to make laws, we accepting them to make laws for us is the meaning of legitimacy. Do you understand this area? So if you create some kind of bodies and you accept that they will make law for you, meaning they are legitimate authority to make laws, accepted authority, real authority. So any set of people now that go back and start saying they are the one that will make laws, we will not accept them because them, they are not the lawmakers. Nobody has accepted. So legitimacy refers to the acceptance of the state authority as rightful as and binding. While law play a central role in conferring legitimacy by ensuring that governance conform to recognized procedures and rights. So now, those people you created to make laws for you, the law will now regulate them by not going against what they create. I don't know if people understand. So this is the connection of law and legitimacy. Legitimacy is you accept the state authority as yes, they are binding on you. Anything they make will be on you, will be binding on you. So law will now make sure that those things they make, they must follow it, and we too we must follow it. So that is law and legitimacy. You understand? So now let's look at another area. So anytime if you want to answer this question, you can start from here to here. That's a very good act, right? So let's look at law and sovereignty. What is the meaning of sovereignty? Sovereignty is the right of a state to make its laws without any interference of external body. Nigeria is a sovereign state, meaning Nigeria is the one making it all rules, laws, and all things without interference from an external factor. So now let's look at what law do and how do it connect to sovereignty of that particular state. So, sovereignty denotes the ultimate authority within a political community. When we said ultimate authority, that's absolutely the authority that has the power to make it laws without any intervention of any foreign body. Do you understand? According to Jean Boudin, he is a classical theory. He regarded sovereignty as the absolute, perpetual, and indivisible as absolute and perpetual individual. In contemporary constitution, law sovereignty is subject to supremacy of the constitution. So if you want to bring sovereignty and law, it will be connected to the constitution where we say the constitution is supreme. This particular constitution we created, we said, is the absolute and supreme power of all laws. Any law that is against the constitution will not be accepted. So that is sovereignty. Look at it. Sovereignty means the right of a state to make its laws without any external interference. And who make the laws? They are the legislation. So when the legislation make the law, they now make that particular law to be sovereign to anyone, absolutely powerful to anyone. The constitution will be applied to anyone, even the president. You understand? So this is the connection between law and sovereignty. Look at it. The law we make now make the state to be a stronger one, makes us to create our own laws by ourselves without any interference, make the state to be the supreme. So constitution is the supreme law, and any law that is inconsistent with the provision of the constitution shall be null and void. That is according to section 2 of the constitution. Okay, so I think this is it for this particular area of this note. We are going to go deeper into the second note. These are just things you can read on your own. I give you the main hints where I believe you people have understood, and if you don't, please give me give me giving me the ask me the question. And please don't forget to subscribe so that anytime I post, you will see it. Subscribe on the channel, and thank you very